So if you want to ask us...
I already said
I haven't finished, Whitsit. If you want to ask us about what you are using for your claims of ether, when you have a phenomena that you want to study, do you feel it's appropriate that you ask us to put your claim phenomena tied to your assumption of ether through the scientific method for you? Or do you think maybe it'd be better if you took that claim to be effect you're studying in nature and see if you can figure out the cause of it? Because there's a method for that. It's called science.
Okay, if they could...
Not okay, you insolent little prick! You will not project it onto me. You won't reposition what I've said. You're just becoming a scumbag, Whitsit. Why? Because you've got a nuanced, stupid idea about something that doesn't exist. And when challenged, you'll project that stupid straight onto me like it's my claim. No, it isn't. I'm not saying it. Don't start your next sentence by, well, you're saying that, and then come up with your false dichotomy for the 5th time.
Okay, so is suggesting that we just ignore the phenomena entirely and don't address...
Oh, what phenomena would that be?
Phenomena?
Electromagnetism.
Oh, so the phenomena is magnetism.
That's correct.
Okay, so not ether then.
It's tied into the conversation.
Oh, it's automatically assumed to be tied to ether by you. So whether we like it or not, when we're talking about magnetism, we, because you'll project it onto me later in this conversation, I have absolutely no doubt, we are actually automatically talking about your assumption of ether, are we? No, we are not, Whitsit.
No.
You are.
No, you don't.
You're going to start telling me what I'm doing again, are you, Whitsit?
I'm not saying you have to do that. No, I'm saying you don't have to do that. And I've said over 10 times it's your own practice, right? But if you see the magnetic field, the question arises...
Oh, does it? The question arises, what's the cause of that phenomena, if it's a phenomena that we're going to be studying? What causes it? That would be electromagnetism, Whitsit.
How we have a...
Sorry, we're not going to run with your assumption that it's tied to ether, Whitsit. I've just dealt with that. You don't seem to want to accept that I've dealt with... We aren't assuming ether is tied to electromagnetism. You are. We aren't doing that. You haven't acknowledged that we aren't doing it, even though you've just told me we are doing that. We are not, and neither will you be by the time we leave this conversation, you stupid idiot. Because it doesn't exist. And when you tell me that you're studying electromagnetism in some form or another, that's your dependent variable if we're going to science it, i.e. be empirical about what we claim about it. That would mean that to vary then manipulate the cause of the effect you've described. If the effect is electromagnetism and you believe the cause is ether, then you better damn well vary and manipulate it as a researcher to show it causes it. And if it's non-manifest, you definitely aren't studying the cause of the effect of electromagnetism when you claim that it's a phenomena that we're studying. Because you can't manipulate the cause if you say it's ether. It's not real.
Okay, so I didn't say that it was scientific experimentation where you can manipulate an idea. I've specifically said that's not the case. But the point is that
we don't care. That if it's not a natural phenomena you're studying, then we don't give it. It'll be a parlour trick a man's created, and we don't care about those, Whitsit.
Magnetism is a natural phenomenon.
Oh, and we're going to study the cause of magnetism?
Well, actually,
no, we're going to beg the question of ether and talk about it because we are assuming ether's directly tied to it, aren't we, Whitsit? We're not going to study the cause and effect relationship with science. We're not going to do anything empirical. We're going to beg the question of ether, aren't we, Whitsit?
What sustains the energy?
So you're going to ask me a question. I've said we're not going to do anything empirical. We're not going to science the phenomena, which is magnetism. What we are going to do, because you've told us, we are going to assume it's directly connected to ether. That's what we, according to you, are going to do. No, we're not going to beg the question of ether with you, Whitsit. Definitely not.
I'm literally not asking anyone to beg the question. I'm asking a simple
What's it?
question.
What's it?
What sustains the energy, though? Everyone's just going to keep not answering the question. If you call me stupid, somehow my 160 IQ goes out the window. If you just call me names, what sustains the energy?
Right, what energy?
What's it?
Sorry,
The
you're
energy,
asking. Sorry,
electromagnetic
what
energy,
sustains
what
the energy?
sustains
So, are you asking about a cause and effect relationship by any chance? There sounds very much like a.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, there's a method for that. Witsit. 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 You don't have to keep chattering as I answer you. Yeah, that's a cause and effect relationship you're asking about there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's an empirical method. Yeah, you don't need to keep talking, Witsit. You just need to say yes. Yeah, so there's a method for establishing causes of effects. It's called the scientific method. So if you want to ask us...
I already said
I haven't finished, Witsit. If you want to ask us about what you are using for your claims of ether when you have a phenomena that you want to study, do you feel it's appropriate that you ask us to put your claim phenomena tied to your assumption of ether through the scientific method for you? Or do you think maybe it'd be better if you took that claim to be effect you're studying in nature and see if you can figure out the cause of it? Because there's a method for that. It's called science.
Okay.
So are you going to do that? Are you going to do that then? Are you going to do that then, Witsit? Maybe as you're using it in your claim, maybe you could tell me what the cause of electromagnetism is and provide me with some science for your cause and effect claim that you are making. Do you think you could do that, Witsit?
Science is limited.
I didn't ask you for a ham-handed description of what science is. I asked you if you could provide me a cause and effect relationship validated by experimentation, that would be science, for your phenomena you're using in your claim when you beg the question of ether. You asked us about the cause of it about 3 minutes ago, and I'm pointing out that you won't be asking us about validation of a cause and effect relationship you are postulating when you beg the question of ether. I'm saying, can you show us cause and effect validated by experiment for your phenomena you are using? That would be magnetism. Can you do that, ether boy?
I've already answered that question.
You answered it by providing a scientific validity to the cause and effect relationship that is magnetism. You've done that, have you?
You're just reading a script without actually acknowledging the point. And
let me get this straight. I can't believe I've got to do it. I've got to go on camera and show my audience that I've got no script in my hand. That I'll tear you a new asshole with no script, Witsit. You unbelievable. There is no ether. You're describing something that exists in a medium that doesn't even exist. That would be counter space. And you're describing it as non-manifest. Do you think I need a script to rip your asshole through your own throat? No, moron. I'll do it with my words. No script needed. You're punting stupid to people I like to consider in my community. And I'm here to put a stop to your stupid that you're punting with parlour tricks by asking me that there's a question that I need to answer when you tell me that electromagnetism is intrinsically linked to ether because we are going to be assuming it. No, we won't. I'll just point out that you're who's decided to go around eulogising about something that doesn't exist. That's ether. Don't need a script, mate.
Very clearly just exposed you because you were just saying the same over and over and acknowledging.
Did he say he exposed you, Nathan?
I have no idea. You've got nothing to offer us, Witsit. You just you're a hindrance to this cause, as far as I'm concerned. I don't give a crap. I'm not here to convert people, and I really don't care. But there's loads of people around me that moan at me about it. In fact, the entire live show was spent moaning at me about how I can do more to get this message out to the great unwashed to convert them in a pyramid scheme. Now, frankly, I don't care. I literally don't care. But with that in mind, the people around me should appreciate what a detriment you are. Because you're punting nonsense and exclaiming how you can't justify it. And even saying people shouldn't go around making these claims because it makes us look stupid. And then arguing with me for a full straight hour. Oh, his connection eventually gave up.
Yeah.
It was on its way out the whole time.
He was projecting his own position as your position.
Yes, to set up a false dichotomy. Well, you're saying that there's a nothing that exists. Well, there can't not be a nothing. Therefore, there's got to be something, and my something's ether. So you're saying no, not nothing. I'm saying there's something. Therefore, one of them's got to be... No, that's definitely not what we're saying. Where's ether? Just show us that.
I didn't understand why he kept going to the gas pressure without containment.
I asked him if he believed in outer space. He says, no, I don't. I believe in gas pressure, the whole thing. Okay, he said that. Then he says, you can't believe nothing exists. Well, if he believes we're contained, how can he say that anything, electromagnetism or anything he wants to bring in, is happening in the vacuum? If he believes in gas pressure with a container and the Earth is that, and the sun, moon, and stars are a part of that, then there is no nothing that he can go to. It's all within the realm.
Right, because he's got a parlor trick with a
Exactly.
vacuum to make his example. It doesn't matter that when he's debating with us, we don't have a further false dichotomy with a sky vacuum to replace with ether. We don't have that side of his false dichotomy he needs to set up. So what's he going to replace? Well, we don't believe there's a sky vacuum to replace. What are you talking about? Well, when I've got a vacuum, there's got to be something there. So, yeah, we're not saying the sky's a vacuum, though, are we? So what are you contrasting this with exactly? Nothing. You've just not presented us anything on your side of your claim. And you're not going to be pushing the contrasting claim onto me. I haven't made that either. So what's he left with? He's left in a position where he's just got to back his own claim. And what does he do when he's put in this position to actually back his own claim? Tells me he can't back it. I can't prove it. I don't have science. I'm not claiming it's science. So why the fuck are you spending an hour arguing about it then? Oh, I know. Because someone's got to answer the question I'm proposing. Do they? Yeah. Because the question gives a false dichotomy we need to answer. And one half of it's ether. Quick! Answer it! You're an embarrassment to flat earthers, Whitsitt.
Nathan, that's what I heard, is that if we're not willing to ask the question, that must mean that we're scared of the answer or something like that. Like, what question? The question is his question. He's asking the question, what does light need to propagate through? Which is a begging the question that it needs something to propagate through in the first place. We're not begging the question, and that's the problem.
If you want to know how to progress this argument, 90% of the people in this arena are like that guy, like Whitsitt, or Bob. That's who they're like. Yeah, and they make us all a lot like idiots. So if you want to know how to progress this argument, stomp out the stupid idiots in flat earth who go around talking about non-manifest they can't prove, while we talk about physics and physical reality and stuff we can prove. And when challenged, as was just the case, by someone claiming to be on my side, that I can't prove containment, and I say I can, we've got gas pressure, and I can physically demonstrate the antecedent consequent relationship required for the gas pressure we breathe, annihilating his claim that my antecedent consequent relationship is somehow comparable because it can't be validated. Yeah, it can be validated. It's not comparable. Maybe he's had some baller tell him that he can't show a container and therefore it's an argument he can roll with. But ultimately, people like Whitsitt are making us look stupid. And that's why this conversation won't go further in Western society, because the majority part of the people punting it are stupid.